Hello, this is James Mosteller. This is my Lab 3 on circuits for Physics 2212 for summer. Introduction. We're going to talk about the purpose and the main lab results. The purpose was to predict the behavior of circuits containing resistors in both parallel and series form. Use voltmeters and ammeters to measure the current and potential difference across the circuit, and examine behaviors of capacitors and resistors. And the main lab results were that the node and the loop rule were satisfied, and RC is time dependent. Here's some of the physical principles that were used. The loop rule with the delta V round trip equaling 0, the node rule, in equals out, and the Ohm rule law, as we've seen. Here's some overview of the experiment. The procedure was create both series and parallel circuits using the VET virtual circuit builder, measure potential differences and currents using the voltmeter and the ammeters, and graph the results. And here are the initial conditions used: 21.5 volt batteries, a 47 and 100 resistor, and 2 ammeters. So system and the surroundings. The system is the circuit as seen in this little picture where we have like a circuit, and then the surroundings are literally everything else. Here's the data. As you can see, our circuit 1, I equals 0.02 amps, and if the ammeter was reversed, then the current shows negative current. The current should show negative current. And in circuit 2, as you see in the second picture, I equals 0 and voltmeter equals 3 volts, as you can see on the reading right there. Here's continued data with measurements of voltage at different segments of it. As you can see, we have A labeled, H, G, F, E, so on. And at all these positions, we have the voltage. It starts with 3, 0, negative 9.6, 0, negative 2.04, 0, 0, 0, and then you have the change in voltage equals 0 over time, which is what we expected to have happen. Here are some calculations, as we see, that were needed. Potential differences visually. So here's where we plotted our data. Wires have negligible potential differences. Batteries have positive potential differences. Resistors have negative potential differences. Here we have our graph as seen and drawn in, with main Y values at 1.5, 2.04, and 3 volts. And as you see, we have the letters labeled for each part of the circuit. Here's a node rule visualized. As you see, the node in the circuit, the ammeters have negligible resistance. Current from battery is split at the node, which is the node rule, and most currents move around the resistors. Here's the RC circuit, as you see in the pictures. Light bulbs up. The light bulb lights up immediately and then dims quickly. The capacitor is charged when the light bulb is out. Removing the battery causes the light bulb to light up. The capacitor is discharging. And as you can see, the capacitor charge with respect to time, with the first one at 10 being 8.2 seconds and at 20 it being 19.7 seconds. And the capacitor discharge time at 10 is 9.8 seconds, and at 20 is 20.3 seconds. So you can see the discharge takes a little bit longer than the charge time. Here is the graph, which we did through Excel. with the data, with the RC experimental value being about 5.8 seconds, the RC estimated being around 6 seconds, so not too far off, with a 97.12% accuracy, as you can see in our chart over here, with a relatively high R squared value of 99.9922. Finally, we have our what if questions. What if you used a real battery to charge a real capacitor with no resistor in the circuit? Capacitors would take more time to charge and would not charge instantly. You used an actual ammeter instead of an ideal simulated ammeter. Current readings would be lowered because of the resistance in the ammeter. Thank you for watching my lab. This has been Lab.